One pride. I'm honored to be here tonight to celebrate Lomas Brown and help induct him into the pride of the Lions. Lomas was drafted by the Lions in the first round of the 1985 NFL Draft. As the 6th overall pick, he played in 11 seasons as a Detroit Lion. It's no coincidence that some of the Lions' most successful modern seasons came with Lomas manning the offensive line every time.
He's the perfect example of being one of the nicest human beings that I've ever been around in my whole life. But on the field, he was a fierce, fierce competitor. He's a pro, he's a great teammate, and selfless.
The 1985 National Football League Collegiate Player Draft is on the air.
The 50th annual NFL selection meeting is now in session.
Looking down on the floor where Commissioner Pete Rozelle is waiting for the Detroit Lions selection, and this is the first round.
I was aware of Lomas because I lived in Tampa, and so I was familiar with Lomas in college. And I knew he was a terrific college player, and he was very athletic. Quick feet, quarterback never had to worry about the blind side. One of those mean, tough offensive linemen.
The next pick is up. Let's go back to George Grant.
The card has been delivered. Here's the commissioner.
Detroit on the first round. The Lions select Lomas Brown, offensive tackle, Florida.
He was a really good player because he was drafted 6th overall in 1985. And that was a year of really a strong draft. 2 Hall of Famers drafted before him. And Lomas's career stands on its own with those guys.
There's a lot of quick ends in the NFL, a lot of quick defensive tackle. So I think quickness is going to be important, plus your strength in getting off the ball.
And this isn't unusual. Lomas had never been to Detroit before he got drafted.
The first time I had contact with the Detroit Lions was 2 picks from them drafting. And I hadn't heard from Detroit. No scouts, they didn't work me out, nothing Detroit. So lo and behold, and Darryl Rogers calls me with the 6th pick and says that we've chosen you. The only things I knew about Detroit back in '85 was that it was cold and they made cars. That's all I knew about Detroit.
We were actually roommates at the Senior Bowl, and we just hit it off, that week and became very close. You don't know if you're ever gonna see each other again. Wished each other well, and we just happened to get drafted by the same team, same year. He was 1st round pick, I was 2nd round. Our first year, rookie year in '85, Lomas was thrown in and earned the right to start right away. So he was a full-time starter from day one.
1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions. Here's Lomas Brown, the rookie.
You see here this kid, 6'6", 300. And Lomas had a big smile. Well, we didn't know then, that was Lomas. I mean, he just was a guy who, lighthearted, all that. On the field, when the whistle blew, no, big difference.
Misdirection, Jones, he breaks through a big hole. Inside the 10, 5, touchdown by James Jones. Boom, kicks out on Harris. There's a nice hole, pull around by 75 Lomas Brown. And the Lions have struck like lightning. It's 28-21.
He was good, he was good right from the beginning. What really allowed Lomas to excel was that he could overcome any situation, to get off balance and get a quick stab with his right hand and regain his position, and he was durable. He was absolutely durable.
Number 75, Lomas Brown, came on to play every down on offense to become a consensus all-rookie selection at right tackle.
When he got here, he had a major impact from day one. Lomas and I had developed a strong relationship, and it seemed like we became 2 of the older guys pretty quickly.
This team is still real young. There's not a lot of veterans. The young guys have to come in and learn how to win. And for some of us who have been on the team who don't really have that winning tradition, we're still learning as it goes too.
We had a lot of young players. We struggled our first 4 years. And then, in 1989, things changed for us because of that little fella, number 20. We got him in here.
It's really good to be here.
Lomas is one of those guys that I early sort of bonded with. I ended up at his house, at his home a lot. We spent a lot of time together. It was just a place where, one, obviously he protected me on the field, but fresh out of college, really trying to figure out like professional football and how do you establish a winner and a winning culture. We became friends pretty quick after me coming to Detroit.
3rd and 3. Sanders. Touchdown.
Man, that's a pre-statement. You know, we still got 15 more games to go, but from what he showed me today, he's gonna make us a whole bunch better. All I want to do is win, you know, and that's the main thing right now. We're just trying to start winning.
You know, it just opened up our offense. It was so many different things that you could do with a talent like Barry, and he made other guys around him better just because of who he was.
It's tough to play against Detroit, one, because you have to play against Lomas Brown, who is a good offensive tackle. Then you play against Barry Sanders. If you rush the passer, their biggest play is a draw to Barry Sanders.
It's Barry, and he's open to the 10, 5, touchdown! Lions, Barry Sanders! Unbelievable! Oh, my!
The best way to explain playing offensive line to the fans is you have to have controlled aggression. So you have to be aggressive. You have to be mean. You got to be nasty. But it's got to be controlled. You can't be out of control on the offensive line. That's when you get beat.
I think the first time in pads, he got his hands on me, and I thought to myself, gosh, I hope every NFL offensive lineman isn't this good. Back when Lomas played that left tackle, you know, you have to block speed, which is hard to do. Then you have to block power, which is hard to do. And so Lomas, because of his athletic ability and his play strength, I think that's why he shined for so many years at that position.
That's Dozier. Another first down. Stopped by Carrier.
Barry, 45, 40.
In the mid-'80s, early '90s, that offensive line would compare with any in the NFL today. You had Lomas Brown, Mike Utley, Kevin Glover, one of the great centers of all time. They knew what Barry was going to do. So you got a blocking scheme going, and you have to kind of get in sync with Barry. And I thought that Lomas and all those guys did a great job.
Well, as you know, the linemen, offensive linemen, we're the closest group, closest net group. Most of all your offensive linemen, those are the closest guys. When something happens to one of your offensive linemen, you feel it.
Mike Utley is down for the Lions.
We didn't know what was going on. All we knew was that, you know, it was taking the doctors a long time. They were just over Mike, and then you start seeing more and more medical personnel come. Then you thought, okay, this can't be good. And I think the moment for me when I really knew it was serious and knew it was bad was when I seen Kevin Glover coming off the field, and he had tears in his eyes. Mike got paralyzed in the Rams game in 1991.
I remember it vividly, and I think about it often. And this is the kind of guy that Mike Utley is. That Mike, when he was being carted off the field, gave for people in Detroit, the famous thumbs up. And I think that selfless act kind of helped our team say, okay, well, he's going to be okay, not knowing the extent of the injury, but at least he gave us a thumbs up.
Attention fans, please direct your attention to midfield.
We had talked about it leading up to that game, and they asked Lomas to do it, and we read a message. It was really from the offensive line unit, but really the whole team, and it really felt like it was coming from the entire Detroit community also.
Mike, we know you're listening. On behalf of your teammates, the fans, and the players, and the coaches, we want you to know that you are as big a part of this team today as you have ever been. And that you will always be a part of this team. Thanks for your courage, your inspiration, and your strength. We're all praying for you. We're all pulling for you. So keep the faith. We love you. And thumbs up, Mike. We love
you. It was a very touching moment for Mike and for us.
Lomas didn't say a lot, but when Lomas said something, it carried credibility and weight. It was time for somebody to stand up and speak, and Lomas took that time. That's just who Lomas is, and that helped us get through that game, and quite frankly, Mike's courage carried us through the season.
If he can stay optimistic about it, I mean, why can't we? For a guy at 24 years old and, you know, the possibility of never walking again and stuff, for him to stay as optimistic as he is, I mean, it's just an inspiration for all of us.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Pontiac Silverdome. There is certainly electricity in the air. It's a lot different than the regular season.
That playoff game, oh my goodness, it couldn't have been drawn up any better for the Lions.
Thumbs up for Mike Utley. Of course, that's for Mike Utley, and we see the number 60 on all the Lions helmets.
Smash it!
You know, one of the best offensive tackles in football is that guy right there, number 75, Lomas Brown. If he's going to come at me, I'm going to block him. But Lomas Brown is one of the best pass protectors I feel in football.
No flag. Kramer. Touchdown. Willie Green from Kramer.
That was the loudest game I think I've ever played in. I mean, you couldn't hear nobody standing right here talking to you.
And let's see where it goes. Pass is picked off. Going to be a touchdown, Detroit. Melvin Jenkins. And this place is going crazy.
You say that there's no emotion in professional football? You say you don't need emotion to win? This team begs to differ for that.
Away to Barry off the right. Barry to the 45 and bumps to the 40, breaks it 35-30. He's gone! Unbelievable! Touchdown, Lions, Barry Sanders. Oh my gosh, what a run. Wow.
To beat Dallas in that playoff game, an up-and-coming team, and to do it in front of 80,000 fans. We had everybody in the state was behind us, man. You know, I'm proud of what we did back here in the 90s, you know, and just the camaraderie that we had with the guys. The 90s team set a standard, you know, for some of the teams to follow.
I think he should get a little more recognition for his career than he's gotten. He made 7 Pro Bowls, All-Pro once. He was part of that crew here in Detroit that really started turning things around for an entire decade. 251 starts. From the start to finish of the season and from the start to finish of his career, he was available to play football.
This game gives so much to people like Lomas Brown. Now, make no mistake, he earned it. Being a great player, and being a great player requires a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of hours. And he put all that in, and he got it all back. When it's over, you can walk away and you can just say, okay, I'm gonna put that in this little box over here and move on. He didn't do that. He remained Lomas Brown, great football player, but he also became Lomas Brown, great member of the community. And I think that's one of the things that really stands out about him to me, is the way that he gives of himself to other people. Doesn't like to say no. When people ask him to go to events or to come and be present, he does that. And whether it's young people whose lives he's impacted, whether it's veterans whose lives he's impacted, it is just such an honorable thing that he does to utilize who he is to raise money, bring a smile to somebody's face, change lives. And that is how I would look at Lomas Brown and say that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of in calling him a friend, is just the way that he is willing to give of himself to others.
I think if you start young with these kids now, they develop these habits now, then you get this generation of kids turning over good habits rather than bad habits. So I'm happy about organizations like this that put on events, that think about the veterans, and we're just here just to tell these guys how proud we are of what they're doing to help service us and how they're defending our country. So there shouldn't be any homeless veterans.
I don't think the word no is in Lomas's vocabulary, but he enjoys it, he likes it, you know, and in those roles and in those appearances, people gravitate to Lomas Brown. They just do. It's just, he enjoys life, you know, and the way to enjoy life is to get out there and participate in it. One of his teammates once told me, he said, he was talking about Lomas, and he said, look, if you're ever having a bad day, a bad practice, you're not feeling good, just look at Lomas. He'll give you that smile and you'll feel better. And I've always remembered that about him.
I love it here. I love the state of Michigan. I love what it has to offer. That's why I stayed here. That's why I didn't have a problem with setting my roots here, because I just love everything about the state. I love the people here. I always like to tell young kids when I meet them, I tell them, man, set your goals so high. Set them up. I mean, set the highest goals you can. And go for it, because even if you don't reach that high goal, you're going to be up there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be up there. But the thing you have to do is just stay true to yourself, stay true to your makeup or who you are. And I think that's going to get you a long way in life.
And as I bring in my friend Lomas Brown, Big Low, they're looking for a bounce back tonight.
They want to put that behind them and really come out and show what they're made of. As my compadre knows, it's all about chemistry on that offensive line. That's what it's all about right now, trying to spoil these guys' season and trying to end it for them tonight.
My first thought when I found out that Lomas was going to be my partner in the booth was, has he ever done this before? The first thing that you figured out about him was, one, he's one of the nicest people you will ever meet in your entire life. And number two, he's kind of loud.
Oh, yes! Getting the big fella involved, and I love it. He went in motion. Did you see that speed? Man, damn, what a block. I mean, he knocked the guy at least 3 yards backwards, and that's why we were able to get in that end zone. Like you say, teamwork, teamwork, teamwork.
Getting Lomas to me injected a guy who gave you not only the view of football, but he knew the history of the Detroit Lions because he lived it. He's part of it. He was part of all of it.
The left side of that line just collapsed the defense from the Green Bay Packers down. Oh, he could have scrolled in the end zone. Nice job, Detroit Lions.
Lomas never skipped a beat. I'm so happy for him that he's doing the broadcasting, and just a fantastic person.
Vikings set to kick it off.
That
hey,
was
man.
so awesome.
Listen,
that was awesome.
Things have changed.
That's right. That's right.
Things have changed.
That's right.
Fighting at the 5, still going at the 3, to the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Vikings trying to drag him down and couldn't do it till he crossed the ball in the end zone. Nice job, Sam Laporte. Going to have to treat him. I call it the Myles Garrett rule. They're going to have to line people up. It's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be a lot of things they have to do.
You couldn't ask for somebody better to stand next to you in the booth. He's just one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life.
Rod, great stuff. Keep it going. The excitement around this team right now feels great.
Well, you guys know when I come here, I like to have surprises. And I always feel like when I'm here, I take over your job as color commentator because you don't get to say anything. So we got something special. We want to show you something on the video board, so pay attention here.
For a special announcement.
Hey.
Up from Lomas Brown. The offensive line, Lomas Brown.
Lomas Brown's been there a long time, a good one.
Lomas Brown is one of the best pass protectors I feel in football.
Lomas gets the best out of you. One of the toughest people I've ever played with.
You think about the gritty guys like Lomas, we held one another accountable for high standards, and you had to go out and give your best. You're doing what is necessary to help your teammates get to where you're all trying to go collectively.
Lomas and I, we're family, fierce competitor, extremely hard worker, the nicest guy you ever want to meet in life.
For somebody who's so vicious on the football field, he just has an absolute heart of gold.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Welcome to the Pride of the Lions.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh man.
Lomas Brown's name belongs up there with all the other greats from this franchise's history, and I knew it would happen at some point. I'm just happy that it's happened now.
Oh my goodness, man. Hey.
The thing about him is it's never about Lomas. It's always about how are you doing? That's when you see him walk around here. How you doing, Chris? How you doing? You know, I always admired that quality about him.
Oh my God.
When you have one of your elite players come back around, made his home here in Detroit, and with the organization, that's special. Again, you have one of the better players ever wants to associate with the Lions and be part of what's going on here, and that's always important for the organization, for the fans, and even for the young guys that get a chance to see him. I just think, again, his personality is such, it rubs off of a great player, but a great guy.
Tonight, we are thrilled to celebrate Lomas Brown. Lomas will join a very prestigious group of legends in the Detroit Lions Ring of Honor here at Ford Field.
Why don't you come up here, man, and let's do this.
You think about it, you're playing offensive tackle in the NFL for 18 years. That's an amazing run. Once we get him in the Pride of the Lions, then we need to get him in the Hall of Fame. That's my opinion. How do you play 20 years in the National Football League at an elite level at that position and not at least be considered strongly for the Hall of Fame? Of course, I think he should be in it. He's one of the best game day offensive tackles to play the game.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all. I'm very humbled by being put up in the Pride of the Lions. I'd like to thank the Fords. You brought me here in 1985, a young kid out of Miami, and I appreciate all the love that you've shown me and my family throughout the years.
If you go back and look at his resume and look at the players that he had to face, they're Hall of Famers. If you look at what he was able to accomplish and how he did it, there's no reason he shouldn't be in there. I mean, 7 Pro Bowls, All-Pro. I think Lomas Brown is one of those names that should never be forgotten.
Lomas Brown, a Pro Bowler.
Look at this work here against Haley. Boy, that's really controlling your guy and taking him clear out of the picture.
There's Lomas Brown. He was a lot of action alone.
What Richard Dent says, you don't want to get Lomas Brown, man.
When you talk about having to block, the likes of Reggie White's and his performance against the top defensive tackles who are Hall of Famers themselves, you can make a very strong case. So I'm surprised that it's taken this long. The game has started to catch up with offensive linemen, but yes, you can make a strong case for Lomas.
Thank you all. I also want to thank all these guys behind me. Some guys I played with, some guys I didn't play with. These are guys that set the path for a lot of the guys that you see on this field today. I'm honored to say these are my alumni, these are my friends. Thank you all for welcoming me into the hall. I appreciate it. Thank you.